Sister Elizabeth all the way from Anubhuti Retreat Center, where even Sister Shruti has joined from today. So maybe if we can highlight Sister Elizabeth, please. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. And before I pass it on to you, I'll just give a very small introduction about you to the audience. And as usual, I always also recite a small poem. So if I can just do that quickly in the next few minutes. So let me just tell you, Sister Elizabeth is a fantastic singer. And actually her profession in the Lokic was a singer. She was trained at the American Conservatory Theatre and has toured with a one-woman performance called Songs of My Soul. If all of you have learned that not learned, sorry, if you have heard the song Om Shanti Om, it is sung by her. So it's a fantastic, like, as we have Lata Mangeshkar, who was, we call the Nightingale of India. I must say, yeah, the Nightingale for Brahma Kumaris. The English version is definitely Sister Elizabeth. And all of you know that she has been practicing Raj Yoga since many, many years. It's almost 40 years now. And she's been serving at the Brahma Kumaris Anubhuti Meditation Retreat Center, which is in San Francisco, California. And she has been facilitating a lot of retreats and seminars and workshops. And I was actually wanting to make sure that I approach her, and I felt it would be very difficult for me, but it was very easy because I just messaged her and she said yes. So that's here. She is with you all for Easiness today. And in the form of a poem, a few lines, Sister Elizabeth exhibits easiness and cheerfulness on her radiant face. And she carries out the Anubhuti Seva with a lot of poise and grace. All of us pass through ups and downs through life's phase, some at a very slow and some at a very fast pace. But let's stop running around like a madman's chase, because by listening to her today, that indeed shall provide all of us the much awaited solace. And a few lines on easiness. So let's learn the art of how to make things easy. And let's not run around all the time saying life is busy, busy, busy. And let's now arise from the deep slumber of being lazy and practice Raj Yoga meditation and get rid of being uneasy. So with this, I would stop sharing my things and over to Sister Elizabeth for easiness. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Brother Manoj. That was so sweet. Why don't we start with a moment of silence? I really appreciated hearing everyone's sharing. And now let's just let those thoughts settle into a stillness, into a flow, a graceful flow. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone. So nice to meet you all, even by name. Oh gosh, it's interesting that the drama, life had presented me this topic of easiness. In some ways, I feel very easy. And people say that I'm approachable and easy to get on with. But in some ways, I realize in thinking about this topic There are many things that I'm not easy about, but I am aware. And really, Dr. Manoj Bhai, I really must say thank you for giving me this topic, or Baba through you giving me this topic. I've actually tried using it in situations that felt intense, but by applying a few principles of easiness, it totally turned things around. What comes to mind about this balance, because we were sharing about, not to have a tension, but not tension, but then not to be lazy, to be easy, but not lazy. So one image that always works for me is the image of a lake. And here in California, as in most places that have mountains, you have these freshwater lakes. And so you have a body of water. And when the lake is calm and clear, what do you see? You can see the reflection on the water. You can see yourself, the image of yourself clearly. You can also see to the bottom of the lake. It's crystal clear. And also in that same lake, I can see the reflection of the world around me. Now, if there is a storm, a challenge, a test, what happens to that lake? It becomes turbulent, right? And so then how do I see myself, right? The waters are turbulent. I will see myself as turbulent. I will see how I present myself to the world as turbulent, and the world will look, the reflection of that kind of state of mind will perceive the world or reality as disturbed, turbulent. On the other hand, what happens if that lake never flows and becomes so lax, so easy? Then the waters become stagnant. The sediment will build up, and we'll find ourselves in a very swampy situation. And it doesn't smell good, and it's not drinkable. It cannot sustain life. I want to have that flow, and a freshwater lake will have a trickling flow of fresh water coming in and then fresh water going out, but it's subtle. So it's sort of a maintenance that we have in our spiritual maintenance. And life will help me in that. And this is where I make peace with life events in such a way that I keep attention, but I'm also not lax. It shouldn't be that tension becomes tense and relaxation, becomes lax or lazy. I don't want to be stagnant, nor do I want to be turbulent or disturbed. And some disturbance comes from the exterior situations in relationships or traumatic events even, But sometimes turbulence, how else can turbulence happen, is from past sanskaras, these impressions of many lifetimes, and maybe an event will trigger it, or just when it's ready, it emerges, and I will see through that lens of that sanskar. And that sanskar can be a positive sanskar, and I find strength. And when I act on that strength, on that positive memory, then it grows, right? Just as this wonderful program of remembering the virtues, I'm re-emerging these treasures from the bottom of my lake. But also amongst these treasures is some debris. And the beauty of time and yoga, and of course, that relationship with Baba, with the Supreme Being, is that these old negative tendencies, these old sanskars at the bottom of my lake, will begin to disintegrate on their own. But those that need attention will emerge at its own time. Now, I like this because it doesn't mean we do psychoanalysis and dig up the garbage, right? As you were saying, Didi was saying that you have to take out the garbage when it's needed. But it's not that I want to stir up trouble, because that also creates murky waters. But whatever needs to emerge will emerge at its own time. And that's the one that is coming for my attention, for me. It's not coming at me. And a lot of times we'll think that life is coming at me. Now, why is this happening? How could this happen? This shouldn't happen. I don't deserve this. This isn't fair. And so then there's a lot of resistance, instead of taking it as an opportunity, that this lesson, that this emergence or sanskar or challenge in life has come to help me clean up the bottom of my lake. And so this takes a bit of trust. And so life is actually something that I can make friends with in such a way that I become a traveler in this physical world as a guest, not to take things personally, whatever happens. I need to maintain that perspective as much as being a detached observer. I'm also loving. So this is an interesting quality, to be an embodiment of love. It's not what I can get outside of myself to get love, right? Looking for love in all the wrong places. It means that I'm going outside of myself. When you and I know very well that it's within us. We know it, but why is that habit of taking from others or trying to get from others? And so Baba's teaching us wisdom and knowledge so that we can be not only a conduit of love from the divine through me, but also to be overflowing. And this lesson has taught me, oh my goodness, this has been so beneficial for me. A challenge came up for me recently, and I really had resistance to what was happening, and it was not fair. And I could bring it up in a court of law and be right, but it wouldn't really resolve the heartache, the tension, the injustice of it. And so I just let it go. And I trusted life. I trusted events that this is happening for me. And I remain loving and loveful, and even trusted the individual that was saying some negative things about me. And they weren't true. And if I go in to try and prove it, what happens, right? And you find yourself in this ego kind of triangle, which I'll explain in a minute. But how to get a grip on life without holding on, without creating tension. So we need to have that attention. And that grip for me is a compass to keep navigating through life with that compass of truth. And ego wants me to identify with that which I cannot change, but is constantly changing. I can't stop it. So form is constantly changing and mutating and doing its thing. And I'm trying to be this eternal presence, constantly loving, constantly joyful, constantly easy, constantly aware presence. And that can only happen when I can navigate with that lovely little gauge of soul consciousness. I call it the ping feeling. It's not over here, it's not over there. And when you feel that, of course, when we connect with God, the divine will pull the soul to find that sweet spot, that place of soul consciousness, of God consciousness. And that's my navigator. And when I'm in that, what I call ping, not pong, but that wonderful connection, that sweet, blissful link with Baba, what do you notice is that all extraneous things, all other concerns just melt away, all worries, all problems, nothing matters. And you're getting what it is that the soul really needs, and that is all those virtues, all those qualities: love, joy, peace, and a sense of self-worth. That my divine presence begins to reemerge, and you're like, wow. And it's very simple. It's very pure. And that's my compass. That's my due north. And so that's the truth that Baba teaches us. And so knowledge is that compass. And then I have practice so that it really becomes a natural part of me. And so that's to be able to get a grip, meaning to be centered, to be sensible, to be attentive and aware. I love this word in Hindi, is smruti swarup. Wow, I had to think about that, to be an embodiment of awareness. How do you embody awareness? That it becomes a part of you, that you never go into sleep mode or automatic. Every word, every breath has not only attention, but it has an intention. There's no hidden agenda, even from myself. So this ego triangle, they have it in psychology, the victim, perpetrator, and the savior. But I like to look at it as a, soul consciousness versus body consciousness. So body conscious is the ego state, and the compass, the truth, which is not only natural law, it's spiritual law. It works in physics and in metaphysics. And how we know this is just try it out. When I'm soul conscious in this physical world versus when I'm body conscious, what are the results? And so energy, I'm looking at energy. So forgive me, I'm putting my scientist cap on for a moment. I love math. I love things that make sense. And you've heard these sayings, what you resist persists, right? You're resisting it, but it keeps persisting. And what we resist will usually be something that we cannot change. We want to change others. We want to change the situation. We want to change the clock. We want to change the seasons. We want to change the drama, right? And then also maybe with myself, I think, you can't get anything done if you're not angry, if you're not bossy. How can I get anything done? Nobody listens to me unless I have intensity. And then after some time, what happens? You're holding on to that old sanskar, but then sooner or later, the world will indicate to you that that doesn't really work. You may let off some steam, but you'll have a room of casualties. Whoever you might, meaning in the sense of, if I get upset or angry at someone, it'll take days, years, maybe even a lifetime for that person to approach you without any reservation. So anger doesn't really serve me. And it shouldn't be that life has to teach me. And this is why spiritual truth or wisdom is so important. That let life be these indicators in drama. I've always trusted drama. I've always trusted. I always have felt that whatever is happening, it's happening for me. And so I listen. So I don't resist, I listen. And also what I fight, the second is what I fight, I strengthen. I think you all know this one, right? When I feel insulted, I want to correct them, right? But what happens is by correcting them, I'm only fueling more information for them. Oh yeah, oh, and they'll just add more to it. If I want to try and change any situation by force, I will certainly strengthen the situation. Instead of it, like any disease, it has to go through its phases so that you can purge that disease. And a lot of times I will maybe not approve of actions of others or ideas of others or what they may do to me. And this is, or what they may think of me. And so I'll fight them, but it doesn't make it better. It makes it worse. It becomes a big fire, and I'm only adding more fire. And now the third, this is really interesting, very tricky. And I have fallen into this trap because I've always demanded justice. And that's the advocate, whatever I go against, the very thing I go against, I become. So just something to think about, you know, and you hear our seniors and Baba talk about that when you point out the defects of others, what happens to your face? When I only see the negativity in the situation or the other person, oh, you make me so angry when they're angry. And even you can see people who've advocated against even regimes or belief systems, they'll take on that belief system themselves. I'm thinking of like Napoleon. I mean, that's really exaggeration, but I mean, really big, epic. He wanted to do away with the monarchy, you know, in Europe, that it should be all democratic. And he waged war all through Europe, created so much suffering. And when he conquered many parts of Europe, he made himself emperor. So that's a really large analogy, but it's something to think about. And I can see in myself where when I don't feel there's justice or this isn't right, I will take on that quality in myself, perhaps because it's disturbing that quality and it emerges. So when I resist when I resist something, I'm playing victim. And that's the triangle, right? This shouldn't be happening. And I can go into poor me and be, you know, that I can't change it. I'm a victim of the situation. And I just resist it. This shouldn't be happening. And when I fight something, you know, that's like the perpetrator. How dare you be this way, or how dare this happen? And interestingly, I'm just equating, this is just to kind of remember that when I advocate, I think I'm the hero. I'll save you. But no human being can save another human being. We can give a jump start. We can give a hand. We can help them. But the best service I can do for someone is to teach them how to stand on their own 2 feet. And that is to have their own connection with Baba, with God, and to begin to unravel, you know, their situations for themselves. But certainly we help each other. But I shouldn't have ego that I'm here to save you, or I can do it for you. And I shouldn't be a perpetrator that this shouldn't be happening. How dare you? And I'm not a victim of the situation. And this has helped me to navigate. This trust allows me to be easy. Fear is the opposite of love. Fear closes my heart. So if someone may be jealous, whatever the reason may be, and they say negative things about you, or a person will say negative things about me, and maybe even spread whatever rumor around, and I hold resentment to that person, what happens, you can feel it inside you. If you can think of a situation yourself right now where someone did you harm or deceived you, and you can feel it, your heart closes and there's a heaviness. And I can't connect to a higher frequency. I can't develop that higher vibration. I'm not able to have that link with God. My yoga is with that other person. My yoga isn't with Baba. And so I let it go. I let it go. And I looked at the virtues of that soul, and I had faith in that virtue of that soul. And I invested in that virtue. And what it did was it brought that virtue out of me. It was really a surprise. I could almost see like Daddy Prakashmani in front of me, because she had that benevolence. She had, no matter what, she was someone who embraced challenges. And she was very egoless and would listen to everyone. And she had that wonderful balance of child and master. Another great navigator, this balance. And so when I let go of that image, that impression of the person, no matter what they had done, I'm aware of what was said or done. And maybe I won't know even the extent of what was said or done. I'm not going to go investigate or find out, because that's the trap, you know. And so I just let it go. I invested in that quality and virtue, and I trusted that soul. And that soul, I even invited them to come with me to an event, and they go, "You want me to come with you?" They were, checking. And I go, "Yeah." And I checked myself. I even forgot about it. I wasn't even thinking. And I'll know, it doesn't mean that I just blow my, self to the wind, is the kind of, I have my ethics, I have my self-respect, but my regard for others shouldn't be any less, whatever their role is. And I trust in drama that every event that happens is my karmic account, good or bad. And good or bad, it doesn't stay, right? It doesn't last. It keeps moving. It keeps changing. And so the negative ones, the negative accounts that come, they come to bow, to bid farewell. But if I resist, if I fight, if I advocate against, what happens? It goes, oh, right? It comes to say namaste to me. This karmic account wants to say goodbye. And some of them are really intense, very challenging. But I have to be very wise and knowledgeful and have a good grip of truth, of my compass. And I have regard for the lesson. I bow and bid it farewell. But if I fight it, if I resist it, if I advocate against it, it's going to stick around until I figure it out. And maybe that's good too. And I'll find out what the lesson is. I once had lunch with some sisters. This was many years ago, many decades ago. And I was sitting around the table with some other teachers. I think this was in New York, and Dadi Janki was at the head of the table, and somehow I was right next to her. And she said, okay. And before they started bringing any food, she said to everyone at the table, all right, tell me something wonderful. I want to hear something from you all. Each one of you tell me something wonderful. And so she began with me, and I said, oh, Dadi, whatever happens in drama, I don't care what happens as long as it brings me closer to God. And she bumped me on the head with her hand, and she says, Buddhu. And then she gave a whole class to the table about we shouldn't let drama always be our teacher. It should be that we're knowledgeable and that I am already close to God, and that, you know, nothing should come between me and Baba. So I thought that was wonderful, and that knowledge should be, you know, my close to me, and I should, you know, really feast every day on knowledge and spiritual wisdom. But of course, this is the beauty of life. The beauty of drama is that it's there to play and practice and experiment. How do I know I'm real? How do I know God is real? How do I know truth is real? How many lifetimes we've been deceived? And here we are now at this time in the age of fake news. And you can't trust any authority in this world. And the answers are not out there. The answers are within. And how blessed we are when we can have some wisdom, some knowledge that we have the opportunity to embody. And there's a fun story. It's a Zen story that I like to quote, of a Zen master. And he had this, maybe you've heard it, he had this saying of, he totally trusted every event. And he would always say, oh, is that so? As if each life event was interesting. Oh. And he knew that each event would unfold, and he just went for the ride, but maintaining his integrity, maintaining his calm, easy nature, and went with the flow of the drama, but never lost his navigating of, I know who I am. The world can't dictate to me what I am. I know who I am. And how the story goes is that he was very regarded in this village in Japan. This is actually a true story. And one of the village girls became pregnant, and she was confronted by her father, you know, who's the father? And she was so fearful. So she didn't want to, you know, tell who the real father was. So she said it was the Zen master on the hill. And so the father went over there, and he was really upset. And here you are, this pious monk, and how could you da 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 da? And the monk replied, oh, is that so? So when the baby was born, the father brought the child over to the Zen master and said, it's your child, you take care of it. And the Zen master replies, oh, is that so? And he raised the child with lots of love, lots of care. And he knew there was some divine reason that he had the care of this child for a year. And after a year, the young woman couldn't take it any longer, and she couldn't be without her child. And so she divulged to her father who the who the real father of the child is. And so then the father sheepishly goes to the Zen master and says, "Oh, please, I seek your forgiveness. The child is actually fathered by someone else, and we're so sorry to do this." And the Zen master replies, "Oh, is that so?" He didn't question, you know, I put all this love and care into this child, and now you come and take it back. No, he just, and whatever fruits that he picked from each, event, he used that for, because he probably never had the opportunity to take care of a child, and, to learn from that. So I just love that. So when something happens, I'll just say to myself, oh, okay, because it's never what it seems, is it? And just with the situation I shared with you, it just brought us closer, the person. And there was a trust build. And I think that the Dadis, I felt it from Dadis, that they would have this trust that's invested in you. And I've had that experience too in meditation, where I feel God has his hand on my shoulders. I trust you. And it opens you up. It gives you confidence. So to trust myself, to trust drama, to trust God. So another thing that helps me to be easy. How are we doing on time? All right, Dr. Manoj?
Oh, yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. I also like humor. Now, humor really makes us easy. Now, of course, I kind of label humor in two ways. There's humor that's at other people's expense. I call it put down humor, where they make fun of someone or a class of people, or even putting down yourself. And that's low energy humor. It makes you very stuck. But there's a type of humor based on intelligence, where you laugh at the paradoxes of life, where you can sit on the fence. And when people laugh, it means that they're laughing because they realize, oh, wow, me too. Like there's a reality joke. What's the difference between fiction and reality? Anybody know? What's the difference between fiction and reality? Fiction has to make sense. And you can feel it. It kind of makes you go, wait a minute, you lighten up. It gives you kind of a perspective of, it's not that hard. And why is it that my life, or actually my relationship to life, should be that I resist what's happening right now? How could it be happening? And I'm dreading the future, and I'm unforgiving of the past. And, it should be that, I accept what's happening right now, because when I'm present, that's when I can instigate change. I can't change the past. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So one of the qualities that I really appreciate too of renunciation. But of course, it's not letting go of the baby and the bathwater. It's just to let go of the old, the useless. We've invested in things that have actually been more harm to us, but we've grown accustomed to old patterns and almost like an addiction, and we know it's not good for us. So Baba teaches us how to replace each and every negative tendency. And it's not that oh gosh, sorry. I forgot to turn off the phone. Oh, good, someone got it. It's that what I renounce those things that are causing me sorrow. And that takes a bit of insight, a bit of wisdom. And we may know this, but it won't be realized or embodied until I practice it. Just as it felt so good to trust someone and to instill trust in someone, even when they may have deceived you. And to see how that karmic account finished, how the relationship improved. I'm aware, I'm knowledgeable. No one is perfect, including myself. And so with grace, I approach each event as a blessing, each person, each lesson as a blessing. And so I let go, I renounce, and I develop that easiness. Then becomes this ability to love or tolerate. You know, tolerance is usually used in a way of resistance, right? How long am I going to tolerate you kids, right? But tolerance, as you know, is something very full, abundant, like the mango tree, full of fruits, and it bows when it's full. And so when I'm full, knowledgeful, beautiful, loveful, joyful, I'm abundant, I'm a bestower. And so those that are needy will come. I shouldn't say, advocate, oh, how dare you come needy? How dare you come angry? How dare you ring? I'm just gonna move it out. Sorry. So that's a good example. Thank you for ringing during the class. Oh, and the world may be busy around you, but you know, you're present. You're present. And so easiness allows me to be loving and to take love. If I'm hard on myself, if I doubt myself, am I going to be able to take love from Baba? If I doubt others all the time and I have, you know, the world is a horrible place. No. We are part of a spiritual revolution, okay? Now you're going to see me get excited here. It's a spiritual revolution where we see and invest in the seeds of change, in beauty, in love, in peace, in a world that is contrary to that. And we're leaving our karmic footprint. Oh yes, oh, the world is going to transition anyway. Yes, and I'm going to ride on that surfboard of change, on those waves of change, and I'm going to plant seeds because the soil is being tilled. The change is, you know, meaning like the soil's being turned. The earth is going to emerge through the beauty of this seeds of love and peace and joy and truth and abundance. So Baba's teaching me to be a bestower, not a taker. And so tolerance, renunciation, abundance, and essence. You know, we give classes and we have abundance of wisdom that we share. And it's so great that you also have people share with one another, because that really brings it forward and makes it alive when we're able to share with each other. But to also bring it into action. And I think that's where easiness, I love how when you said effort, when it's hard, if you don't do things, work hard, you won't have it easy. And again, that's a balance. It's like the lake. You want there to be a constant flow. You want to receive, and you also want to let go. You don't want to be stagnant. And if the lake is deep, the more practice I have, the more flow, the sediment is, the old is renounced or released, then the deeper the lake, and I have these wonderful, deep, calm places where I can retreat as the storm passes. And I know that it's good and it's all happening for a reason. And the storm, this too shall pass, right? Everything passes, time, seasons. And so I like to say yes to life. And I love how, you know, it brings a flow. Usually we resist, we want to say no. If somebody asks, oh, do you want me to do this? Or can you do this? Immediately the impulse will be, oh, no. Can you move over here? Oh, no, I'm fine here. When you don't realize that over there is a great opportunity. How many times, I'm asking you now, how many times have you looked back at these challenging episodes in your life and you say to yourself, wow, if that never happened, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't know what I know now. I wouldn't be in this position where I am now. When I was going through it, it felt like, how could this happen? Why? Resistance, right? And it was painful going through it. But then when I pass through it, I can look back, and in some cases, I can even have a little laugh about it. Oh, that was funny how I behaved, right? How, you know, we can look back at it with that perspective. So I thought to myself, how can I go through each event that unfolds as it's destined to come to me? How can I go through each event with that same perspective and sit on the fence and, yes, work hard, yes, do the effort, but also let go, whatever the outcome may be, because it's going to be of benefit. It just hasn't been revealed yet. So, Shanti.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We have quite a few comments in the chat box saying that please request whether you can sing.
Okay. Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Now that's
so
funny because see, now my face turns red.
So shall we do that as the end meditation rather than a meditation, we'll do that? Or is that what do you say?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can take a while to think, no worries.
No, I have one song comes to mind, because without Baba, without God, life would be so difficult. And this is a song of thanking God for loving me. let's see how I do in the morning here. But at least the meaning of the song will have a nice meditation together as a closing of Easiness.
Fine. So before we do that, I'll just quickly request Sister Claudia from Vancouver all the way. Can you please propose the vote of thanks for Sister Elizabeth? Over to you, Sister Claudia.
Good morning, Elizabeth. It's good to say good morning to you because we are in the morning. So it was very nice to hear you speaking about easiness. You know, when I was thinking when you are saying that, it is that so. So maybe as a child comes in a case of a situation or in a case of something gets handed to us and we take care. And after someone comes and take it, we have to learn to say, oh, is that so? So it was quite nice. So I need to always trust myself that I'm doing the best, what I can do. And if someone can do better, that's okay. Is that so? So thank you for giving all your tips and the easiness. You are a very easy person. I know you. So thank you for being with us today. We really enjoy you. And we even enjoy more when you sing. So thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Claudia, sister. And before we go into the last bit of the meditation, let me just quickly do the announcements for all of you. As all of you know that the next episode is the Ruby episode. We call the episode 40. And the next one is on unity. So, you know, we have done strength already and unity will be coming. And together, strength and unity, we are doing the silence retreat as always this month. On the month end, coming Sunday. We'll send you the flyers soon. Sorry, I forgot to mention it will be with Sister Denise on Unity. She'll be joining us from all the way from Germany. And as usual, again, the workshop will be following the talk on Unity. It will be Brother Yogesh. We are happy to have him after a long, long time. And it will be Saturday, 4th June. And in the power series, as we go ahead with the fifth power now, the fifth power is the power to discern or discriminate. So that will be in the first weekend of June, that is on the 5th of June. And we'll be again sending you all the invites and the flyers. And before I forget, let me just remind that people who have joined new today, there are quite a few who have joined from the West Coast as well. A few have sent their contacts, emails, and WhatsApp. So if you want to be a part of these workshops and talks, so please feel free to share your WhatsApp numbers and emails, either to everyone or to Sister Swati, or you can write it down to everyone as well in the chat box. And this is our elusive calendar. Again, thanks to Sister Kosha. This just gives you a summary of what we do in the entire month. And with this, I'll just stop sharing and we move on to the beautiful song and the meditation. Yeah, I think...
Yes, just thank you, Dr. Manoj Bhai and Sister Claudia and the family and the translators and all of you who've been working to do this series. It's wonderful. I want to see you in the morning sun. I want to see you till the day is done. I thought you left me, oh, I was sure. No, I was sure. But then you came to me in a dream, or so it seems, and left me wondering if it was really you. I only know one thing. As I approach the golden stairs, I'm prepared to take the steps that take me to you. Thank you, God, for loving me for all time. throughout eternity, from one lifetime till the next, till all the souls are free, till all the souls are free. I want to see you in the morning sun. I want to see you in the evening star. I called you Father, 'cause I was told, but now I know, 'cause you came to me in a dream, or so it seems, and left me wondering if it was really you. I only know one thing. As I approach the golden stairs, I'm prepared to take the steps to lead me to you.
Thank you. This is the closing meditation song.
Thank you, God, for loving me for all time, throughout eternity, from one lifetime till the next, till all the souls are free, till all the souls are free, till all the souls are free. Om Shanti, till all the souls are free. Om Shanti. Good night.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth sister. Wonderful. We all take a picture at the end of the session. I hope it's okay. So everyone can switch on your videos. And Elizabeth sister, you have given the treasure that's, I think, amazing, that will stay with us and take us until we reach to the last, wherever is our destination. So thank you for that, you know, sharings from the heart, and making us aware to keep that water still so that we can see the bed of virtues always clear, and yet the lake has to flow. And I see everybody has opened up. Such a divine song sister sang. Okay, now ready? I'll take one more, the next page. And I'm sure we all are taking the easiness and that beauty of her heart. Thank you for sharing that heart with us, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much once again, Sister Elizabeth, for your time. Thanks.
Om Shanti.